Hello and welcome to my 2022 bullet journal setup. You might have seen my last video where I was experimenting with some setup ideas. If you haven't, I will link it below. It's worth a watch if you are starting a bullet journal for the first time this year, like me. So for this bullet journal, I wanted to keep it pretty simple, pretty basic, but I still wanted to add splashes of colour and some detail to it throughout, just to make it a wee bit more visually interesting. I'm a very visual person, and visual things definitely work a lot better for me, and I'm definitely more inclined to keep up with things if I do find them visually pleasing. So this first clip is just me cutting up some sort of clip art type stuff. Again, a lot of these images came from the website Unsplash. I'll link that below. I mentioned it in my last video. It's a website with lots of free images that you can basically use for any purposes. They're copyright free, so I just thought I would use them for my bullet journal setup. Now, I didn't use all of these pictures in my setup, but I will use them throughout the year. And then at the very bottom there you can see just the 2022 poking out. I created some bits and pieces on my Procreate app, just some little titles and bits and pieces, again to add splashes of colour and to add just a wee bit more detail to some of my spreads. So I shall speed ahead and then we can jump into the actual bullet journal. So this is my 2022 bullet journal. I treated myself to this stunning bullet journal from Yop and Tom. It's really good quality, it's a really nice feel to it, and I really loved the design on the front as well. It also came with this super helpful grid guide that is going to come in so handy throughout the year. It also folds in half, which is just great. So the plan is to keep that at the back so it's nice and handy. So with this journal you also get a couple of pages. So you get the key at the front, which is great, and then you also get quite a few pages for your index. So I had planned to do these in my layout, so the fact that they're already done was amazing. And then it just goes into the grid effect. Now the pages are also numbered in this journal, which is also a huge time saver. So I was really glad that it came numbered. So yeah, it's just a really beautiful bullet journal. It also has this little envelope at the back, so that'll be really handy to keep my stickers in. I actually got this from Amazon, so I will link it below, but I'm sure you can buy it directly from their website as well. So this is me about to get started in my setup. The first thing I wanted to do was this blank page opposite the key. I just wanted to add a little sticker to it. My favourite sticker that I have got over the last couple of months was this Inhale Strength, Exhale Fear sticker from a company called Moon and Tide Studio. I'll link them below. They do some really beautiful things. But I just love the detail in this illustration, and I love the little quote, and I thought it would be the perfect thing to put at the front of my 2022 bullet journal. I'm going to fill the key in and the index in, not on this video, at a later stage. This is the pen I'm using today. It's a really nice pen. I'm hoping to get more pens for my bullet journal. These were just pens that I had lying around the house, and the ink is starting to run out on that one actually, so it's not going to last me for the whole bullet journal. So you'll see that throughout that I've already sort of labelled my pages, just so I don't get too confused. So the first one's pretty obvious that it's the title page. So I just wanted to keep this really simple. I kind of have a theme of lightning. You will see why in the new year, why I have that theme. Something to watch out for. I don't want to give too much away. I might have already said too much, so I'm not going to say anything else about that. So the next page after this is the future log setup. I have already pre-counted and pre-dotted the page, and I've gone for one of the layouts that I did in my last video. So what I'll do is I'll skip ahead this setup and the next setup, otherwise this video is going to be over an hour long, and yeah, so I'll skip ahead. So one thing I want to mention at this stage in the video is the huge mistake that I made when doing the future log. It wouldn't be a project of mine if there wasn't a huge mistake in it somewhere. So 2022, January 1st, is a Saturday. Not a Friday, it's a Saturday. So because I got the very first date wrong in the very first month, it meant that every other single month after that was wrong in the future log. So you will see later on in the video how I attempted to fix this. It definitely didn't end up the way I wanted it to, but at least the dates are now correct. But as I say, you'll see that later in the video. So yeah. Right, so moving on from that mistake, let's move swiftly into something different. So one thing I wanted to have in my bullet journal this year was a 2022 vision board. Now I have made an actual 2022 vision board that is going to go on my wall, and there will be a video about that coming in January. I can't share too much about it because it kind of gives some things away. So literally all you'll see from this page setup is me putting the title on, but you will see the full board and how I created the board in a later video. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's a really nice idea. I would really recommend doing a vision board for 2022, especially if you're a small business owner. It's just a really nice visual of what you want your goals to be for that year. So yeah, definitely keep a lookout for that. So another thing I wanted to have at the start of my 2022 bullet journal was a year in pictures. Again, there isn't a lot of setup for this. It's literally going to be a title, but as the year goes on, I will add pictures to this page. I just thought it was a really sweet idea. I'd seen other bullet journal people do it, something similar. Mine isn't maybe as structured as other people's would be, but I wanted to keep it nice and simple. So I'll just be adding little pictures to this page throughout the year as a nice little memories page. So yeah, it's a really nice idea. It's definitely something I would consider doing if you're doing a bullet journal this year. Okay, so this is me now starting my January spread. And of course, because I got the dates wrong on the future log, I've also got the dates wrong here. January 1st, 2022 starts on a Saturday, not a Friday. So this whole grid setup is completely wrong. Now, if you watched my last video, there's a bit where I'm all like, oh, I got this grid wrong, but it's okay. You know, this is only an experiment. I'll get it right in the real one. It was correct in the experiment and it's wrong here. Again, you'll see later on in the video how I attempt to fix this. It's definitely not the layout I wanted. It's definitely not as neat and tidy as I wanted, but at least the dates are right. So I spent all this time doing this lovely grid, and I really like the effect of this grid. So I might do it in a future monthly setup. I'll check my dates before I set it up. And I love the way this double page spread actually turned out. So I am a little gutted that this one didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. But I am making the mistakes for you so you don't have to. Please don't make the same mistakes that I have. I actually posted on my Instagram about the mistake I'd made, and I got so many nice comments from people saying, I've done exactly the same thing, I know how you feel. So that was a little comforting to know that I'm not alone. So yeah, you see how I fix this later. You get an idea of what the setup would be anyway. And it is actually a really nice effect. When I did my experiment video, I didn't think I'd actually go for this layout, but I just really liked it. So this is the one that I've ended up going with for January, sort of. And after I fix it, it doesn't quite look the same. But it is a really nice effect, something to think about anyway. So a couple of new spreads that I'm trying this year for the first time are a mood tracker and a gratitude page. Now these are both these are designed by me and are available on my Etsy as digital downloads. So you could print them on sticker paper like I have done with other things. Now these weren't printed on sticker paper, so I've just used double-sided sticky tape for these particular pages. I have printed them too small. They do come as an A4 size. I just decided to size them down by 50%, but that made them too small. So for future setup pages, I will probably make these a little bigger, but I thought it would be a good size to start with, and I didn't want to reprint them because I didn't want to waste the paper and the ink. So yeah, that's just a really simple setup there. And then these are also some new spreads that I'm trying for 2022. I did briefly do a goals of the month in my last bullet journal towards the end of 2021, but I didn't really do it properly. So again, you'll just see this simple setup for these. They're literally just titles. And then on the other side of this spread is a spending tracker. So I wanted sort of like a little monthly in and out, so I can kind of track my money a bit more. Now I'm undecided whether I'm just going to keep the spending tracker as just purely business, or if I'm going to add some personal things in it too to track my spending. I'll probably keep this January month as just a business one, but yeah, we'll see. So another new spread that I wanted to try this year was a little memories. So whatever the month is, that month's memories. So it could be a collection of pictures, little quotes, little memories, just basically anything that I want to put in for January memories. I think this will end up being a really fun page to look back on. and I'll probably add a mix of personal and business things in as well. So I just thought this would be a really fun page to create. There's not much to see in the setup. Again, it's just the title that I'm creating here. Okay, so now we're going into the weekly spreads. Again, I've got the dates all wrong on this page. Again, you see me fix it at the end. Just like to point out again that the 1st of January 2022 is a Saturday, not a Friday. For this weekly spread, I wanted to keep, again, it really simple. I've just gone for a sort of box layout with the dates around the edge, and then I quite like that you have the space at the top to add a little to-do list or some stickers or quotes, add a little bit of artistic flair to the page, and you've still got plenty of room for each day of the week to write in to-do lists and tasks and events that might be coming up. I really like this setup. Okay, so this was meant to be the final flip through, but there are some clips after this of me fixing my mistakes. But I thought I would show you what it sort of looks like, what it was meant to look like before I realised I'd made all those mistakes. So we've got the title page, the future log. I've kept it really simple, the future log. I didn't want it too messy. Here I realise I've skipped a page. So yeah, pretty basic. This is going to be my vision board. A year in pictures, so those pages will be filled in at a later date. And then this is into the monthly spreads. So the January, I really like the way that turned out. My mood tracker and my gratitude tracker, and then goals of the month, plan of action, spending tracker, and then my January memories page. And then I'm going to go into the weekly spread. Now I didn't set up anything after this. I have a few things that I'm going to set up, including content planner each week and a meal tracker each week. So I might do a video at a later date for those. But yeah, that's what it was meant to look like. So here we are, attempting to fix my mistake. I'd just like to say there are a number of ways that you could probably fix this, but I decided to go down the digital download route. So I went on Pinterest, I typed in 2022 calendars and found a free digital download. It's not the layout I wanted, it's not the effect I wanted, but I do think there are some benefits to the download. The numbers are so much neater, the dates are correct, so there are some benefits to getting a digital downloads. Had I started with this initially, I think I would probably like it a lot better. If I'd spent a wee bit more time, I maybe would have found like a coloured version, which would have been really nice. So that, I mean, this is definitely an option. I also know some Etsy shops do stickers for these little calendars. Again, it's a great idea. I would make my own, but I'd probably get the dates wrong, so but yeah, as I say, it's not the effect I wanted, but you know what, it turned out okay in the end. I'm pretty pleased. Now for the monthly spread, again, I just found a digital download and printed it off. It's definitely not the effect I wanted. This is one that I probably should have redone at the back of the book and cut it out and stuck it, but at this stage I was just so disheartened by the mistake I'd made that I just wanted to fix it quickly. Again, I could have spent more time, found a nice colourful one. There are a lot of digital download options out there that are free. Again, I'll link this one below. But yeah, it's not ideal. Here I am struggling with the sticker paper. I printed this on sticker paper. It's a good option, it's a good idea if you have it. It's definitely worth doing. I should have cut it out a bit neater, but you know what, it's fine. And then this also had a little title, so I just thought I would cut it out and stick it on the page as well. So for this final page that I needed to fix, I just decided that I was going to use some of the scrap paper from the digital download print-offs, just to cut out little squares and stick them down and then write over the top of them. Again, you could cut out the grid paper from the back, but I didn't want to cut paper from my bullet journal when I had these little scraps, so that's what I used. Well, here we are at the final flip through, and things haven't turned out the way I expected them to. I made mistakes, I did my best to fix those mistakes, and you know what, it's okay. This is my first year properly bullet journaling, and I'm gonna make mistakes. And it's probably good that I did it in the very first setup, because then I'm gonna learn. I know now that I need to double check my dates before I write anything in. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with how things turned out. It's a little messy in areas. Pages still look a little blank and a little bare, but I know as the weeks go on, I'll add more things to pages, and it'll start to look like a more lived-in bullet journal. But for the initial setup, I'm pretty pleased. I did some experimenting, and I'm sort of starting to realise already what I like and what I don't like, so that's part of it too. If you've watched this whole video, thank you so much. Please subscribe if you enjoy my videos. Please give me a thumbs up if you like my videos, and keep an eye out for the next one. Thank you!